When the Thalaiva speaks, everyone listens. When he speaks politics, perhaps even more so. Rajinikanth has said no for now, but also claimed that if he joins politics, corrupt people will be kept away. Rajinikanth has broken out clearly from his usual categorical no at a time when Tamil Nadu is facing its biggest political vacuum after Jayalalitha's death, and at a time the BJP is trying to make inroads into the state.
அதே மாதிரி அந்த ஆண்டவன்ல வந்து நான் ஒரு கருவி அந்த ஆண்டவன் வந்து பயன்படுத்திட்டு இருக்கான். இப்போ நடிகனா பயன்படுத்திட்டு இருக்கான், நடிகனா நடிச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன். நாளைக்கு என்னமா பயன்படுத்துறானோ அவங்க என்ன பயன்படுத்தாலும் நியாயமா உண்மையா தர்மமா மனசாட்சியோட பண்றேன்.
With the Rajini's flourish, superstar Rajinikanth left it unsaid. This is the closest Rajinikanth has come to say he will join politics.
அப்படி ஒரு சூழ்நிலை ஏற்பட்டு நான் அரசியலுக்கு வர வேண்டிய சூழ்நிலை ஏற்பட்டால் அந்த மாதிரி ஆளுங்களை கிட்ட கூட சேர்க்க மாட்டேன்.
Rajini said lending support to the DMK alliance in 1996 was a mistake.
21 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னால ஒரு அரசியல் விபத்துன்னு சொல்லலாம். என்னுடைய மொழியில ஒரு ஆக்சிடென்ட் நடந்தது. அந்த சிரமத்தில் சில சூழ்நிலை காரணமாக நான் வந்து ஒரு கூட்டணிக்கு வந்து என்னுடைய ஆதரவு தெரிவிக்கிற ஒரு நிலைமை ஏற்பட்டுச்சு. அதுக்கு வந்து என்னை வாழ வைத்த தெய்வங்களான தமிழ் மக்களும் நான் ஆதரிச்ச அந்த கூட்டணிக்கு ஃபுல் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணி அது ஜெயிக்கவும் வச்சாங்க.
After 8 years, the superstar was meeting fans in Chennai for a formal marathon photo session that will happen over 5 days.
பேசுற வார்த்தைகள்ல இருந்து தமிழகத்தில் ஒரு முக்கியமான மாற்றங்கள் வரக்கூடிய ஒரு சூழ்நிலை அரசியல் சூழ்நிலை உருவாயிருக்கிறது என்று நாங்கள் நினைக்கிறோம்.
தலைவர் சொன்னது எல்லாமே நல்லதுக்கு தான்.
Rajinikanth still seems to be testing the political waters at a time when there is a perceived political vacuum in Tamil Nadu. Interestingly, no political party wanted to react to his latest comments on making a possible entry. Will he start his own outfit or will he be backed by the BJP? Those still remain unanswered questions. With camera person Nagraju and Sukumar, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Joining us from Mumbai tonight, actor and Congress General Secretary for Tamil Nadu, Nagma. We also have with us from the AIADMK tonight, Apsara Reddy, Nandita Krishna, historian and writer, and Dr. Yuhi Setu, director and actor. Let me just quote once again what the superstar said today. If God is willing, I will enter politics tomorrow. If I enter, I will be very truthful. I will not entertain people who are in this to make money. I won't work with such people. If in case I decide to join politics, I won't allow wrong people to join me. I'll keep them away. Apsara Reddy, very quickly, why do you think Rajinikanth decided to make such a statement now? Is it perhaps because he feels there is a political vacuum in Tamil Nadu? Is the time right for him to join? How do you interpret his comments?
In a democracy, Ankita, I think anybody is entitled to, making a political foray. I think our Indian constitution allows that. But Mr. Rajinikanth, for the longest time, has been putting 1 foot forward and 10 feet stepping 10 steps behind. So I really wish he's decisive this time around and does the right thing, whether he chooses to enter politics or not. It's his choice. But I just hope it's a decisive decision, and I hope he's thought it through. And I think to become a political leader, you need to put in the political runs on the table. I think if you look at our great leader, Puratchi Thalaiva Amma, she was part of a political movement for decades before she rose to the great heights that she did rise to. But I don't know whether Mr. Rajinikanth has those political experiences or political acumen to lead a state or become a leader, as lots of people are hailing to be the Thalaiva. Of course, he's a Thalaiva of the celluloid cinematic world. But in politics, it takes a lot more.
Okay, but Apsara Reddy, did Jayalalitha have that political acumen when she joined politics, or did she learn on the job?
As I said to you, Ankita, if you hear me clearly, I said she rose to those great heights after putting lots of political runs on the table for many decades. Yes. She started as a youth worker. Mr. Rajinikanth is starting quite late. I think 20 years back he put one step forward and a couple of steps behind, and he's continuing to dilly-dally. I really wish Mr. Rajinikanth makes that decision tonight, or perhaps whenever he chooses it right to do that. But Rajinikanth is a great human being, and I hope if he does choose to enter politics, he aligns with the right forces and does the right thing by the people of Tamil Nadu.
All right. I think he sort of anticipated some of those comments or some of those criticisms when he also said, people say I'm fickle-minded, I keep changing my mind, he's afraid, reluctant. But the fact is, I think a lot before I make a move. Nandita Krishna, would you say that that is significant, that he seems to have at least answered all those people who will say, why now, why after all this time, why after, flirting with the idea of politics in the past but not ever really following through?
Well, he knows, and we all know, that there's a very big political vacuum in Tamil Nadu, and somebody who really can come into power at this time would, of course, try to. But he has made several forays, taken a few steps and then stopped. His last attempt to go into politics was quite disastrous for him. So I'm not sure if he'll see it through. But I think this is the time, if he wants to go into politics, his age and and the present situation, when there really isn't very much opposition, this would be the right time for him to try and get into politics. He has chosen his time very well.
All right. He's chosen his time well, and I think that's why everyone is, interpreting so much significance in these remarks today. Actor and Congress General Secretary for Tamil Nadu, Nagma, is also on the phone line with us. Nagma ji, you met the superstar just a week ago. You also tweeted a photograph with him, which sparked off its own set of speculations. This was even before he made these remarks today. There was a great deal of speculation then when whether he was joining politics or not. Did you talk politics with him at all?
Ankita, there's a slight correction I'd like to make. I'm the All India Mahila Congress General Secretary, and I'm in charge of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. But at the same time, yes, I did have a meeting with him, and before I could tweet the pictures, the press was already waiting out there for me, and there were a lot of press people there. They asked me a question as to why I met him, and I very categorically answered them that a film of ours got recently released, that is Pasha, and it did supersedingly well. And I've known Rajini sir over a period of time for many, many years, and this political thing that, this is nothing new. This talk has been there for past 25 years since the time I've worked with him. And over a period of time, we've always discussed on and off. And yes, he spoke to me about politics because he saw that I have been into it since, the past 14 years, and he wanted to know more about my own journey. But that's more on a personal level. So there is nothing that I can discuss publicly of what is the kind of discussion that we made.
So you didn't talk politics at all? The Congress isn't sending out any feelers?
But besides politics, we spoke about various issues. We spoke about our families, we spoke about films, we spoke about different things.
But is the Congress sending out feelers to Rajinikanth?
No, I don't think that, anybody except for BJP, which has been saying that he's with us, and categorically I know for sure that he's with nobody. And he is not a thought of politics as of today as we speak. After this, I don't know. I think obviously, yes, anybody can come to politics, like someone just said, and it's a democratic society, and every actor should come forward if they can do, if they have that kind of a superpower and superstardom, and they have that kind of, goodwill in the public, and why not? I think all people who were there in the film industry, like MGR and NTR and Jayalalitha ji, and like so many other actor politicians, they have done really well for themselves.
Yes.
So I don't see a reason why he couldn't come into politics and still be successful.
Okay, that's an interesting point you make, and this really seems to be the hallmark of Tamil Nadu politics. There seems to be, almost a revolving door between cinema and politics. Leave one, join the other, and perhaps have equally successful careers in both. Dr. Yuhi Setu, come in on this. Chief ministers in Tamil Nadu have often been superstars in Tamil Nadu cinema as well. The one thing almost seems to follow from the other. When you hear Rajinikanth today at age 66 saying, no politics for right now, but perhaps, God willing, given the present political situation in Tamil Nadu, what should we read into this, and particularly in the light of remarks about this close association between cinema and politics?
Well, if you had listened to what Rajini ji had said close to 8-9 years back, he was saying the same thing. If God willing, I can even come to politics. But there's nothing new that he has said today. So he has always been saying this, keeping his fans and the people of Tamil Nadu on tenterhooks that he might jump into politics. He has been saying this for quite a long time. Having said this, today in the political scenario in Tamil Nadu is so nebulous and so confusing that any party, whatever be the majority they have been having so far, exactly falls under 33.33%. If it's ADMK or if it's a DMK, and there is a vacuum of 33.33%. So that 33.33% can become 33.34% if Rajinikanth can come in and chip in his weight. But he has always been a very reluctant man. So always so much so that we don't know whether he is like Amir Khan promoting a film or really wants to come into politics. So there is always, when he promoted DMK in 1996, there is a very famous dialogue in one of his films which says that if I say once, it's as good as having said 100 times. So after the 96 election, when he asked people to vote for DMK, there was another election. He asked people to vote for any party that they like, and they ended up voting for 100 parties. So there has always been a weightage loss in terms of the political power that Rajinikanth was commanding 20 years back, 10 years back, and now.
Okay.
It's like an old movie wherein you say that you're going to release tomorrow, then release the day after, release after a couple of months, and finally when it releases, you don't know whether it's a re-release film or really a fresh film. So Rajinikanth's position is like whether it's a re-release film or a fresh film, we really don't know. So really, God and him, he's a very pious man. So therefore, you can almost count him as a morally very honest man. But the same God, he said that if Jayalalitha comes to power, even God cannot save Tamil Nadu, and she came to power later on. At that time, he said that he compared Jayalalitha with about Nava Lakshmi, Ashta Lakshmi, Santana Lakshmi, and all that. So I'm not saying anything wrong about that. What I'm trying to say is that Rajinikanth has been very accommodative and honest about his changes in himself. But as of now, the fact that he wants to jump into politics, I don't read it as he wants to jump into politics.
Okay.
I still feel that after it's a rejuvenation, I feel that I'm still there. I don't think I read anything more deeper than that.
So this is a reinvention of sorts. It's interesting that there's always a Rajini dialogue which suits the specific situation. There is another one which would translate into, even if I come late, I will always be in demand, and that might well be his motto now. But Apsara Reddy, I'm going to quote you a specific thing that he said today, that his decision to support the DMK in the 1996 Tamil Nadu Assembly elections was a political accident. How does the AIA-DMK respond to that? Do you feel that this is in some way Rajinikanth's indication that, if the AIA-DMK were to approach him at all, or perhaps because it's so singularly leaderless at the point, that, something might be up there?
I think Mr. Rajinikanth is very right in pointing out the mistake he made tying up with the DMK. DMK is the cause for the majority of scams that emanate out of Tamil Nadu. The massive scams that have come out of Tamil Nadu have been the reason, the DMK has been the reason for it. And I think Jayalalitha madam and Rajinikanth sir enjoyed a very warm rapport. There was mutual respect. There's two tall people, and I think he's a statesman in his own right. And I think Madam Jayalalitha was one of the tallest leaders in the world. So I really feel that if whoever he chooses to support, or whether he launches his own outfit, he does the right thing for the people of Tamil Nadu, and I hope he makes up his mind sooner than later. Because I think, as you rightly said, I think he's a good human being, has good moral fiber, but will that translate into action for the people?
Will that translate into action for the people? Nagma, come in on this as well. What about Rajinikanth's ideology? Yes, of course, he is an undisputed superstar. He has the goodwill of all the people. Perhaps he would get votes also if he were to make that active entry into politics. But what does he stand for? And will he necessarily make a good administrator?
Look, I think that just because he said that I made a mistake, then it doesn't mean that he's saying that anybody is better than that, because we all know it's not good to talk about Jayalalitha ji. She's no more between us, but we all know that the disproportionate asset, case which was there on her, and there were far less. I mean, every political party has cases, whether they're in power or not in power, and all these things witch hunting keeps going on, and all these things keep going on. But that's irrelevant. What he was trying to say here is that I made a mistake, I had aligned myself. Probably he was trying to say that if I do come back again, I might come on my own, which he was trying to say. I mean, you can interpret it in different ways. It's not necessary that because I didn't align with DMK, I'm not going to align with the other parties. It means that he might become a strong entity in Tamil Nadu by himself, and he would align by with another national party.
Okay,
so
a strong.
Whatever
yes.
It could have innumerable kind of meanings into what he has said. But as what I understand, that he is not interested, as we speak today, in politics. But God willing, someday, if there might be...
But he's keeping people guessing. I think he's certainly keeping people guessing, perhaps a little more so than earlier. But, I'd like Nandita Krishna also to come in at this point that, he may choose to not join an existing party. He may float something of his own. He may join something that, for instance, is backed by the BJP. There's been so much talk of that, Nandita Krishna, such a buzz that perhaps that this could be some sort of outfit that is backed by the BJP, that backed by the Sangh. What do you make of those rumors? He met, Prime Minister Modi met with him in 2014 during the campaign trail. Very recently, the BJP candidate for the RK Nagar by-polls had also met him. Is there something going on there?
Ankita, today Tamil Nadu is a place where we survive on rumors. I mean, there's a new rumor every day. So, we've just stopped listening or even giving any credence to any rumors. I think he made this statement just as a moment of passing, because he said he's a deeply religious and a very good man, and he said, if God wills it, I will enter politics tomorrow. So but he said, right now God wants me to be an actor. I don't know what role he wants for me tomorrow. So that's something any of us would say. You're an anchor today, you don't know what you'll be doing tomorrow. So maybe he said it like that, but he said one thing, which I think is important. He said, if I enter politics, I will be very truthful and will not work with people who are in this to make money. I think that is very important because, for the last so many years, Tamil Nadu politics has been very money oriented, and the kind of scams we've had over here.
Right.
So in that case, he has made a very strong point against it. But whether the BJP is wooing him, whether the Congress is wooing him, probably everybody and probably nobody. That is Tamil Nadu, where rumors abound day by day.
Fair enough, but clearly a message also to politicians to be clean in their dealings, to stay away from corruption. It'll be interesting to see how these things, how the developments pan out in Tamil Nadu, given its current state. But thank you, all of you, for joining us on this discussion tonight.